Just so you know, I'm not a mechanic, I'm just a do-it-yourselfer, so watch at your own risk. Today, I'm going to try and figure out why the wipers aren't working on my 2006 Kia Sportage. When I turn on the key and turn on the wipers, they won't move. The rear wipers do move. I've checked the fuse and it's fine. It's a 15 amp fuse. It's this one right here. I removed the cover to the fuses in the engine compartment, and looking at the diagram, I found the wiper relay. As far as I can tell, it's fine, but I really won't know until I get to the wiper motor and see if there is power at the motor. Now I'll try to get to the motor. I've noticed with my Kia that when removing these screws, some are real metal screws and some are just fake plastic screws. Some of the fake ones will actually unscrew a little bit, so you can remove them, and some you have to pop out with the flat head of a screwdriver. This one is plastic. Every once in a while, they'll throw in a real one just to confuse you. The soft rubber padding needs to be removed so we can remove this plastic shield. It's mostly held on by plastic screws or retainers that pop out also, but at least one in the middle is metal and has to be unscrewed. Each end of the large plastic shield has a metal screw also. There is a plastic cover on the wipers where they connect to the sprocket, which moves them. This pulls off fairly easy. I'll probably want to make a mark on top of the sprockets to help me return the wipers to their original position before I remove the large nut that holds them in place. I remove the windshield wipers once I have unscrewed the nuts that hold them on. Then I remove the plastic shield that covers the space where the wiper motor is located.
What's rough? I hope you really dig this video. Please subscribe to the Psychoto channel. Do it.
To remove the electrical wiring from the wiper motor, I press down on the tabs that hold the wires in place and pull the wires away from the motor. The largest socket is green, and it supplies the motor with power when the wipers are turned on. And the power does appear to be supplied when the wiper switch is turned on. Okay, we just got to remove this bolt, this bolt, this bolt right here. Then we'll be able to pull out the motor. It'll be on this bar right here. Here's the motor. Here's the bar that it's on. Okay, so you need to make sure that whichever way this brass is facing, when you take the motor off, this brass piece, that it's facing the exact same way. So take a photo of it or mark it or do something, because if you don't get it exactly the same way it was before, you might end up having it start in the wrong position and go the wrong way, or stop somewhere in the wrong spot, or maybe go too far one way or the other. So just make sure you mark that. This thing is just supposed to pop off. I wish I had a better something to pry it off with. Okay, so that did pop off. Looks like there's just some grease on that is all. Might want to add some extra grease before you pop it back on. Okay, then I gotta take these 3 hex screws off, or star bolts, or whatever you want to call them. So it doesn't want to come off unless I take this off. Well, I'm gonna have to take that off anyhow for the motor, so hopefully I can just keep it where it's at. Try not to move it a whole bunch. Okay, there's the motor that isn't working. I actually bought this motor new from Rock Auto for $35 and some cents. I've seen their stupid commercials. I always think they're stupid looking. Instead of those round star hex nuts, they just have Phillips screws. Oh, come on, you guys. Really? You have to put them on that hard? Okay, that's better. Well, they do provide some lock washers, which I didn't see on the other ones. Maybe that's good, I don't know. The other ones seem to be holding. Well, these seem to be 10mm bolts or Phillips screws if you want to use them that way. But this will be stronger if I use this rather than a Phillips screwdriver. As I tighten the nut on this connector, I'm trying to keep it facing in the same direction as it was before. As you can tell, I'm having a hard time doing so. Alright. It's just about where the motor was. This brass thing went before. It was. pop this puppy on. But I am gonna get a little grease to put in that little ball there. Just to make sure that's good and lubed up now. Okay, time to put it back in. Okay, everything just goes back in like it was. Plug this thing back in here. I'm going to screw in that nut first. Okay, before we put everything back together, we're going to test it and make sure it works. Okay, sounds like it's working. Should be good. Should be good to go. Now I just need to put everything back together. The biggest wiper, as you can see, there's a big one here and a smaller one here. The big one is on the driver's side. And I put the little marks on top of the these bolts sticking out so I can make sure I line them up correctly. It's pretty simple, basically. It just goes pretty much straight on like that. Okay, now I'm going to test them one last time. Hopefully they stop and start in the right places. And if they do, then we're set. Then all I got to do is put little plastic covers on top. If you're wondering what that noise is you're hearing as the wipers move, it's caused by a plastic ball which is tied to a string that's hanging down from the ceiling, and it's touching the windshield wipers each time they move. You can't see it from this position because it's hidden behind the hood. So don't worry, there's nothing wrong with the wiper motor. Now let's put the covers on. It's very simple. Gosh, they don't stay. There'd be a better way to make them stick. Okay, there we go. I was gonna say this could come off easy, too easy. Okay, yeah, they do come off easy though. All right, we're done. Replaced the wiper blade motor, and it's all good. And thanks for watching the Psychoto channel.
Just click here to subscribe to the Psychoto channel. Well, what are you waiting for? Subscribe already. Why don't you?